Hey guys, so this is probably the first video in a little while that I've made here on this channel. Not going to lie, I've been rather busy and I don't plan on making a whole lot of videos, but I thought I'd put this bit out there for people who are just getting into PvP or who are interested in exploring it a little bit. I kind of want to make this journey easy and fun for y'all. So I'm going to give y'all a couple bits of advice. So first of all, play the class of Buccaneer. It's probably one of the easiest and most fun classes to quest through the game. And also the gear is fairly easy to get. So for that reason, and also because you don't have a whole lot of powers to manage. You have like one and a bit of another page, and that's it. A lot of Buccaneer is, all about, you know, how you manage your charge order, um, and how you manage your positioning and stuff. So it's a great class to start out with. It's much easier than playing a class like Musketeer, where every little mistake you get punished for. And it's also much easier to play than a Privateer or Witch Doctor, where you have like 4 pages of powers you have to manage. So for that reason, Buccaneer, if you are a new player, is definitely the move to go with. So the next thing you'll probably want to know is where to PvP and how to PvP. So first of all, this game, you know, I have to be honest with y'all. As far as games go, if I like a game, I'll play it. Okay? I don't care who plays it. Okay? If I enjoy the game, I will play it. Okay? Now, I'm going to be honest again. Pirate101 is fairly dead. So, what you need to do if you want to have a good PvP experience is you need to go around on Discord and you need to find a group of players to PvP with. Okay? Now, it's a little more difficult for some people than others. You may know somebody who can introduce you to some players, or you may not. The best piece of advice I can give you is don't allow you don't take anything personally. There are a lot of immature kids out there who PvP on this game is their life. Don't take it personally. Find some other people. If it bothers you that much, or put up with it. You know whatever the case may be. But inevitably you will run into some toxic behavior, but PvP itself isn't really toxic, okay? It's the players you PvP with. So find yourself a good circle of friends. I suggest looking for them on Discord, because that's generally where the Pirate 101 community is. So that's the first bit. That's where you find the people to PvP with, because that's a struggle in and of itself. If you go over here to like the rank queue, you go in there, you may, wait 2 hours and you may finally get a match. I honestly don't recommend this. The map is too small. It has like a bunch of boxes, you know, right in front of you, smack dab in front of you. So, witch doctors and musketeers, some of the more skill intensive classes, automatically get punished way more than they should. Time warp triggers more often from pets, which is broken. Old Scratch is allowed, okay? Summons are allowed. So it's like there are a lot of broken things you can't avoid. The better way to PvP is to go over here to the Spar Chamber and go by standard rules. So standard rules for a 1v1 are no scratch, no doubloons, and no summons from gear. Those are the main ones right there. Alright? So you may be wondering about the whole scratch thing, being a completely new player to this game. That's perfectly fine. Let me go over it real quick. So these are some buffs that were added a while back. I don't remember the exact date, but from what I heard, it was supposed to buff witch doctors because all their abilities are mojo based. But there are a lot of other mojo based abilities like musketeers bombs, privateers bombs, Veiler armor. So it's like I think the class actually got buffed the most was privateer. Privateer is arguably one of the strongest classes in the entire game. So it's like it didn't really help balance things. And not only that, um, because there are different damage rolls in this game, because criticals are not completely skill based, right? It kind of made it to where you would either do, like say a Morn Song that 800 damage, or you have a Morn Song that would do 2,500 damage. So it kind of decreased the quality of the game by increasing the pace at which RNG played a role in winning or losing a match. So that's basically why players ban Old Scratch from matches in the standard set of rules that most established PvP communities in this game run by. So that's what I mean by standard rules. Now there are some other standard rules that are also applied, particularly for team PvP, which I highly recommend getting into team PvP. If you want to have the most fun in this game, the more units on the board, the better. If you have yourself an army, boy, is it fun. But there are a couple of other rules that we follow. One of them is no Lumba Moonskull, which I might have to get onto another pirate in order to explain what Lumba Moonskull does. I might. No, I'm explaining here. So Lumba Moonskull is a companion that has an ability called the Big Guns, which is basically gunnery or artillery, um, but like stronger, right? It bombs in a 3x3 pattern. Now, other players can get this ability, okay? Like the pirate himself can get like boots or, another piece of gear that has this ability. So the reason that is banned in 3v3 is because if you have three of those things hit at the same time, it can wipe out a 3x3 pattern. Okay, basically winning you the match first turn. So, it basically makes the whole match pointless, right? If it's won by the first turn and not by the moves that the players make. So that's banned in a lot of 3v3s. So is Eagle Eyes, because that's kind of broken and it's hard to get your hands on companions that give that. A lot of them come from packs. So that's going to be banned in a lot of matches. So that's standard rules for you. I just want to talk to y'all a little bit about the gear now. Gear, don't overcomplicate it, guys. So look at your powers and decide what you need, okay? This game is mostly power based, okay? What you have in your deck is the most important thing. All the extra stats and stuff, 2 extra accuracy doesn't really mean anything, okay? Um, if you have like armor, if you have like 10 armor and you have 100 armor, there's not a huge difference, y'all. If you have like same thing for magic resistance. If you have 100 or 200 less health, it doesn't matter much. One or two or three or four less weapon power, it really doesn't matter that much, okay? You have people who are still using Axe and the Minotaur Lord for follow through, and that's a weapon you get when you're level 60. That's 10 levels behind the level you're supposed to be. That's how much weapon power matters. It matters up to an extent, but don't gripe over that, y'all. Don't gripe over that. So look at your powers. This is how you're going to decide what gear you need. If you need to hide a lot, like say you're up against a lot of units, let's say like Hold the Line or Overwatch or something like that, you need to bypass all that. Or you're up against a swashbuckler and he curses you or something like that and you want to wait that off. Take a couple of hides. Take one, I would say, versus most matches. If you're facing a musketeer, I recommend taking two, okay? And you'll figure out what powers you need for each matchup, and you'll figure out your play style as time goes. But as far as gear goes, um, just look for pieces of gear that give Valor Fortress, Assassin Strike, Vicious Charge. Maybe you want to heal in some matches. Like I think versus Privateer in particular, you'll want like a revive or two. Assassin Strike is nice to get. Um, so yeah, you look for pieces of gear that give this. It doesn't matter which spot it gives it in. And as a matter of fact, some people quest through the game and they get everything to drop for them. Okay, you don't need your Assassin Strike slot to specifically be the Schemer's Eye Patch or the Earthen Charm, or you don't need your Valor Fortress to specifically be the Special Branch badge. It doesn't matter. You could get, the Helm of the Valiant instead to drop. Okay? Whatever drops is whatever drops. And most of the game is, down to the moves that you make. Having the perfect gear actually doesn't have that big of an effect on if you win or lose. Okay? As long as you have some of the basic cards that you need. And so I'm going to go ahead and talk about the weapon a little bit. There are a couple options. The Craven Blade, is okay. It's easy to get. It comes from a pack. It's a common drop. Okay? Honestly, there are a lot of other ones. If you just want to straight up buy it, Fury's Flame Barge from the Crown Shop gives a supercharge. Um, well, this is rather hard and rare to get, and let me tell you, don't get yourself bent out of shape over this weapon, okay? Most of the times, summons are banned, so you won't be able to use it, okay? I have this weapon over here, the Dark Sea Dagger and Sword. It gives Assassin's Gloom. It's also nice to have. So there are like a lot of options. This will do in a pinch if you get this to drop. As I said before, Axe the Minotaur Lord, the follow through is incredibly good. Um, so yeah, but honestly, you could get like a weapon from the bazaar, and it would do perfectly fine. If I'm being completely honest, you would still win a lot of matches. It doesn't matter that much. I use this sometimes. The Gargoyle Shield. It doesn't matter, y'all. It really doesn't. So pet wise, just get a pet with Relentless. I would say Elusive is good as well. Elusive is okay. Some people prefer to go with an extra Turn the Tide. It doesn't really matter, y'all. If you have a pet with Relentless, that's a good start. You do perfectly fine. You could get into PvP with a Relentless pet. You don't need your stuff to be perfect. So yeah, I'm briefly talk about some concepts. There is movement range and attack range in this game. You know, I just want to let you know, if you're a Buccaneer, you don't have to only use Buccaneer units. Some common units that are used by Buccaneers that are big staples are El Toro for his spirit buff, Bonnie Ian, surprisingly, because Buccaneers tend to charge in having a unit that can heal them, stay behind and heal them, and can also, take some of the fire from other musketeers, other opposing musketeers. It's great to have. Okay. So yeah, oh, and also her scatter blast reduces dodge, and what do Buccaneers do? They hit things, so if they can hit things more often, that's also a plus. So yeah, El Toro and Bonnie Ann are great on Buccaneers. So is Contessa. Sometimes people don't even use Peter Quint. Okay, I know some of y'all are like their mind their mind just exploded not using Peter Quint as a Buccaneer. Peter Quint is great, but I'm just saying there are other options. You don't have to go all Buccaneer. So another concept, it's kind of nice to know, is this over here, Highland Charge. I call these gap closer abilities because they give like a temporary movement boost. This over here is one. This over here is another. This is, it doubles your movement and allows you to charge across the field. So that's, I say, closing a gap. So musketeers typically have anywhere from like 5 to 3 uh, attack range. Range units in general do. So basically, if any unit has this ability right here, if they have what's it, 4.5 movement, and they use this, basically they can hit the musketeer before the musketeer can shoot them. That's why I call it a gap closer. So yeah, that's just a couple tidbits. Y'all just get into the spar chamber, get into a call with some people who understand the game a little bit, and let them coach you through some moves. Watch a couple of their matches. They'll kind of explain what's going on. The best way to really get into this is just be brave and immerse yourself, really. Just enjoy yourself. That's it.